Well, I don't know if this is it may be the start of a new one. We're going to put all these things back together again. Be sure that your plates are clean, no grease on them. I got a little grease on the shaft here. It was probably a little premature in having. You've got splines back in here, and then you got splines in here. This is the interface. It doesn't say anything about having that in place, but that one goes on now. This one's the next one. We got our little spot back in here which you can't see, and there's also a spot on the shaft in the middle here in case, I guess, this one out here. It's interesting. Yeah, right back here on this shaft, on this side's a pink one, and then right here is a little red one, and those were lining up with that. So perfect. Okay, we got a little 6 by 45 millimeters long in our holes here, and we screw those in equally. I'm going to have to go back and look at the manual again and see how far you have to push them in. We're doing this so we can get the two halves together to get the belt on. I guess maybe you could, here's that little pink spot again, lined up with that mark. I have no idea why that is necessary. No idea at all, unless it's some sort of balance. This thing's been dynamically balanced, which may, okay, there we bottomed out. Okay, and we got about 1/4 of an inch still sticking out. Let's go get the belt. Okay, we've got our new belt. You can tell it's a new one because it's got this pretty, I don't know, this color on the side of it, and you have to make certain that the arrows are going this direction, which would be that direction. And let me put that over that. Oh. Now I lost my, move back here. There we go. Lost my position. Okay. Now this thing gave me fits. I picked it up one time. You got to keep this back pressed together. Otherwise, if this thing, you know, goes down, you'll look back in here in these holes. You can just barely see the edges of the two rollers, one on each side. If you can see that or not in there. You can just see the two rollers, and again, it gives you an idea of the condition of them. And so let's. And I used a roll of tape back in here to when I'm setting on it. So. Okay. I got enough grease in there. Let me put a little more grease in there. Okay, got a little more grease in there. And this goes in. Now is that all? Farther it goes? Okay, well that'd be in first gear. Okay. That'd be correct. We're in on the stop there. Wipe up the excess. Yesterday when I was, before finished up on this thing. I disassembled it completely, again, to look at the seals, and I cleaned them off with a rag, and then I looked with my magnifying glass and a bright light along the lip of the seal, because there was a little bit of slight scoring in the shaft, that big thick shaft that sticks out at the belt separator spacer, but the lips of the seals look fine. No cuts, no abrasions, just, you know. Okay. And then we got this little guy to stick in. And its O-rings. Let me go look to, it's got a little bit of a, it's got a channel in here, inside, and that gets filled with grease. And likewise, it has a little hole in the side to sling the grease out when it gets up to temperature. Both sides has one. In page 537 and 538 on the variator, it calls out Shell BT3 grease throughout the manual, and this is the polyura grease, is what customer service told me is what I'm to be using. And it goes in that little groove in here. We'll squeeze. Oh, it's green grease. I don't know if you can see that coming in there or not. No. We'll fill up the groove with that. And then get a little more in there. This is what they call the spacer. And it goes, where's the nut? Yeah, it goes on the small side. Okay. This one goes back in here. And it shows the O-rings. Let me go ahead and get them out. Well, they're right here. There's two O-rings that go on here. And I'll go ahead and put new ones on them. I got them. And again, be careful when you're sliding them on that you don't cut them. Okay. And supposedly they get a coat of polyurea grease too, as long and with the nut. Okay, so put a little coat of polyurea grease on the O-rings. Yeah, at the bottom of page 5-45, what does it say? Apply grease to the thread and seat of the primary sheave nut. So, and a little bit on the face too. I think some of this it's a high torque grease to keep from galling the threads, because this thing gets such tremendous, well, factory tremendous torque. Also a point of fact here, I've got it my 29 millimeter for this nut, but here's an eighth, an inch and an eighth, perfect fit. So probably going to be easier to find this. Well, 29 wasn't that hard. Well, yes it was. 27 was easy. 29 was hard. So if I'd known that, I would have So now you know. Inch and 13/16 is 46. Inch and an eighth is the same as 29. Okay. The manual also says, for some reason, to apply the bell ray assembly lube to this nut. So I guess I didn't have to be as anal of keeping that clean when we get there. Okay. I torqued these guys, not torqued them, I just took my my regular wrench here and tightened these guys down a little bit, but we gotta pull these little guys out. Probably get the belt to line up as you're pulling them out. Yeah, so you're starting to tighten up on the... Oh, okay. Okay, we got our... I was using this socket here to swing this around so I can get the pins of the tool in place. 65 foot-pounds. Okay. Now, got to do this guy. Okay, we got her set at 115. Maybe I'll be able to bend this back into shape. Keep the handle here away from this 1 foot peg support so you don't... Ah, 115 pounds. Yeehaw. It's coffee break time. I'm going to go in.